101 KRBE. It's the Roula and Ryan show. Nice and toasty warm inside, but outside, hard freeze warning. And you got that wind chill advisory until noon today. It's going to feel like it's between 5 to 10 degrees.
And again, the dumb amnesty question that I asked earlier is what makes it a hard freeze versus just it's freezing
Hard
outside.
freeze means it could be between 10 to 20 degrees.
But it has to stay there for like 2 hours, I believe.
Minimum.
Thanks, Cheetah Craft.
I'm telling you, man, my plants are
I watched it yesterday because I was like, what is the hard and medium freeze, whatever?
I had some, was it on Sunday before the freeze came in?
Eggs? What do we got here?
We were talking about covering the plants, and one of my family friends, he's like, every single year I spend all this money buying all the tarps, and I have my yard guy tell me what I need to do with all the stuff, and every single year it all freezes anyway.
It freezes anyway.
It freezes anyway.
It freezes
everything.
He was like so mad. He's like, I'm not covering my plants this time. They're going to freeze anyway.
Yep.
I tarped everything back when we had that February freeze, like 2 years ago. I tarped everything, and everything died
Well, that
regardless.
one was out of control.
Had a palm tree die at my old house. I'm so sad. At the rental house, finally, it died after, 3 freezes?
Was it a female or a male palm tree?
It was spitting out little berries, so...
That was a female. I had a female palm tree also. That used to drive me crazy. No, it's when it's her cycle.
Oh, that's how it works.
That is the truth.
No.
I'm not kidding. That's
You're
what the
trying to
yard guy
tell
told
me that there's a palm menstrual cycle?
Well,
I mean, it's all trees seed,
what?
you know?
I don't think it's that part. It's the cycle of...
it's the cycle of just shedding the whatever.
Roula put a tampon on a palm tree.
I didn't tampon on a palm tree. But I learned that the hard way. My first house I bought with my husband when we were married, it was a ranch house with a palm tree, and every time there'd be all this junk all over the pool and all over the roof and all over the patio. I go, what is this? These little tiny little flowers, but they weren't pretty. They look like annoying little grains. And the guy's like, you got a female palm tree. She's shedding her cycle.
Yes.
I go, what?
You're like,
and then they all
making that
Disgusting. I didn't need to hear that.
all of them try to grow. If you have a pool, or if you have a palm tree, and it doesn't matter if you have a pool, but if you have a palm tree and these little doodads, little berries fall into your yard or up against the sidewalk or in your flower beds, they are going to grow into palm trees.
Is that better than having those pine needles that Roula used to have?
Pine needles.
Oh, my God,
I'll
the
take
pine
the pine
needles.
needles. I don't know.
Joel,
it gets on.
Not
the
if you've got a pool.
No, the pine needles, you cannot escape them. They are in your pool. They are in your yard. They are in your cracks of your windshield to where the wipers are. And when my husband and I built a house, we had to take out some of the pine trees. I was thinking, oh, okay, great. We're having that problem. Well, everybody else around my perimeter of my house had pine trees. So all the pine needles were just everywhere in the roof line, the gutters. I was like, oh, the gutters. Which, by the way, we spent that money on that leaf guard.
Yeah, how did it work?
No.
Oh, no. I had a video of all this water like shooting out of the leaf guard because it was all clogged up from the pine needles.
Yes. So now it's not guttering.
I'm telling you, we need to eventually, we got to do one of those segments about Instagram ads that you need to steer clear from.
And I think they changed the name
Basically
from leaf guard
all
to
of them.
something else to throw you
It's
off
that
the
one
trail.
that I bought, that filter thing.
Oh, the spinning filter for your pool?
Yeah, it makes it look like...
not the filter. You know what I'm talking about, Kev. You open the thing in the ground and it catches all the pine needles.
That's
The
called
basket.
the
Skimmer basket?
That's called the skimmer basket.
Yeah.
This thing was a piece of junk. I used it 2 weeks.
It creates this tornado-looking.
It's supposed to, but it didn't do that. People were saying, "What does it anyway?" It
does.
It does.
Anyway.
I don't think
The one I would say to steer clear,
someone.
and Eric, I know it's caught your eye too, that flashlight that looks like it's a lightsaber. It's so powerful. It looks like, it can light up the outside for 200 feet. And
Is it bull crap?
No. It does brighten things, but it breaks really quick. And it's expensive.
How much was it?
Oh, I think it was like $60
I bought that
for a flashlight.
Last week I told you about that popcorn.
Oh, yeah, the basket that you can put the butter on top, it melts over in?
Yeah, I bought it. I tried it yesterday.
And?
Sucked.
Really?
It took forever. It said 3 minutes. I'm like, nothing's popping. All it did was melt all the butter on it, so it made it
it's
gooey.
easier just to melt some butter in a pan and then pour it on yourself.
So wait, how long until the actual kernels popped?
The popcorn sensor on, and then because you can't really hear it because it's in that glass, and then it was burnt.
Well, describe what it looks like for those that didn't
almost looks like
hear
a
us talking
coffee.
about the first time.
Almost looks like a old school coffee,
like a filter.
Carafe?
No, correct. Yeah, like you get it at the diner.
Yeah, like the old school ones.
Oh.
Like, how they had one for Sanka?
Yeah.
Like
the
orange
glass,
one and
a glass round coffee
decaf,
carafe,
whatever.
but it's giant. It's way bigger size.
It has a piece of plastic on top that you can put That's how you fill up the
It's like a little dome. It's like a little
and then
dome.
you put butter and salt on that, and it's supposed to melt it while it's popping.
See, I'm telling you, the best popcorn that I've ever made is just the old school way, where you put it in the bottom of a pan and just shake it over the top of the stove.
I just took a lunch bag, brown bag, and I put kernels in that, and I fold it over, and it cooks fine. And I take
microwave?
And I just take some butter and melt
somebody on Instagram told me,
salt.
You know the old ways that you used to make popcorn, like Jiffy Pop, where you shake it over the stove?
Yeah.
And then the big aluminum expands as it pops.
Make that?
Yeah, they still make Jiffy Pop.
I believe they still have that.
Yeah.
And over the break, we were staying in like an Airbnb in Colorado, and they had an old school tea kettle. And when we went to go boil the water, it screams because it's a tea kettle. My kids went running for the corners of the Airbnb. What is that? What is that? And I took a picture of them. If you go to @Radio on Instagram, you'll see. Go back to the end of December 27th or 28th. And then somebody said, if you think that was crazy reaction, wait till they see the old Jiffy Pop shaken popcorn. Because that person's kids went freaked out. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's like, that's how he's.
When I think of that,
popcorn.
I think of my parents made me TV dinners, and it'd be Salisbury steak.
The Hungry Man dinner.
Salisbury steak.
I haven't had one of those.
Like, if it wasn't
20 years.
microwaved enough, you put your fork in it, and the whole thing, gravy and everything, and turkey
And the
would all
potatoes
come out
would
in
be
a
frozen.
block.
You put the fork in the potatoes.
Come out like a block of potatoes.
You're holding
It's
it.
called Salisbury steak. Let's see. It's a dish originating in the U.S. made from a blend of ground beef and other ingredients.
Mushrooms?
It's a version of
onions.
hamburger steak.
Yeah,
hamburger
it's just hamburger meat.
So it's ground chuck.
It's
like eating
basically a giant kefte. Like if the Greek meatball is a kefte, it's like a giant kefte. It's just a giant meatloaf.
I think that was what every
gravy.
divorced dad probably had in the 80s.
The Hungry Man dinner.
Yeah, those
Instead of a
dinners.
slice of meatloaf, it's like been grilled on both sides, so it's all got like a coat. Like I don't know what you call it, like a coating or crust.
I need to go try one of those again. Try
Salisbury
Tuesday. Try one of
I'm
those.
telling you, man, your palate changes definitely.
Can't be
I think
good.
of the crap
Try
I
it
lived on in
Tuesday.
college.
Yeah, we gotta try it.
Salisbury steak.
Oh.
Speaking of, what did y'all make to eat yesterday? Let's talk about food next.
Oh yeah, plus we gotta play Ahmad's song too.
Oh my God, yes,
I'll play it here.
we forgot to practice. We sure.
We got time to play it.
We told you
Short.
about Ahmad's BK song. Let's hit you with that before we go to break. Here's his freeze song. Somebody thought, did I hear a Burger King commercial with Ahmad in it?
Oh, yeah.
When I was waking up, no, it wasn't a Burger King commercial. It was just Ahmad singing about the freeze.
Houston, there's another freeze. Be safe out on the roads, please. I hope that your pantry's stocked and you gassed up your car. Oh, Houston, stay warm. Oh, Houston, we can weather this storm. I miss summer.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, wait till Thursday.
713-390-KRB.
Thursday's going to be, I just got a cease and desist. now I'm so really pissed.
All right, we'll be right back on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Okay, yeah, because we're under that hard freeze warning and the wind chill advisory. It feels like it's between 5 and 10 degrees today. And you know the Roula and Ryan Show, we always go on a food tangent.
Maybe you're not hungry, but you're just looking forward to make something that's going to make you feel warm today. Maybe you did it yesterday and you have the leftovers today. I find that if I make anything tomato-based, the next day it tastes even better.
Oh, for sure.
I made meat sauce last night. It's going to be real good
Pasta
tonight.
in particular is always better
Roula
the second
doesn't
day.
seem like Sam and Kevin and myself. We look more like pot roast type people.
I'm not a pot roast girl.
I can't see Roula making pot roast. I don't know why, because pot roast is awesome. You got carrots and potatoes.
I think it's a real
like-
American meal, though. I didn't grow up
Well, you're
eating
American.
pot roast. No, but I'm Greek. I'm
you're-
Greek American.
Well, that's your
I'm first generation Greek American, so all the food in my house was like legit Greek food. If we were going to cook at home,
My wife's Iranian, and
Like,
she
I
still
can-
likes pot roast.
I've never had. I
They're
don't
used
think
to
I've,
kebabs and stuff. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever made pot roast, and I'm gonna guess I don't think my parents ever made pot roast.
You need to change that and make it.
Is pot roast like
Chuck roast, whatever.
It's got the little
Chuck-
string around it.
Okay, it's not
I
ground
didn't
up.
do the
No.
string.
The pot roast, you don't string
Okay.
it?
No, it's just like a big old chunk of meat.
a top
Yeah.
round or an eye round. He was talking about Chuck. If you're a little on
Yeah.
the low end,
Is that something you also
I
put in the
do
slow
like the
cooker?
chuck.
It doesn't have to be on the low
Yeah.
end, Kevin.
Yeah,
If
it's
it's the
slow,
prime.
slow cooker, potatoes,
Okay.
carrots, celery. I
Yeah.
personally I don't really like that because I feel like the meat's always really, really dry.
yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
which
Doesn't
one?
like braise, like a beef bourguignon or something?
I guess if you would
we can shred
splurge
it
and
with a
get
fork.
not a chuck, you would get more expensive meat. Then I
Yeah.
think you would be okay.
Okay.
But I'm a weirdo. Like sometimes I just don't like meat. So that isn't like I would really want to make it's a loaded baked potato crock pot.
Oh, tell me that this one. I need to have this in my life.
It is the best thing ever. But I was like, I don't have any water at my house.
In there.
Yeah, where's the protein?
The protein is the bacon that I'm going to make.
There you go.
There's bacon. There's
bacon for dinner.
cream cheese. Or no, is it sour cream?
I'll make
I
a
think it's
BLT
sour
then.
cream. It's
Probably
potatoes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Smell bacon.
to make it low fat, you do like low fat
There ain't no low
evaporated
fat, nothing in that
evaporated
name.
milk.
No.
What?
No.
Bacon and evaporated milk?
Yes.
That sounds
so wait,
revolting.
so wait, tell me.
It's so good.
That's awful.
I'm following you, Sam.
Okay,
I'm following
hold
you.
on.
So
Let me
my
do the
God.
rest.
you're
Hold
gonna
on.
put the potatoes in a slow cooker with
Everything.
evaporated milk,
Yes.
bacon,
Yes.
cheese.
Hold on, let me-
I guess you
What kind of
garnish
potatoes?
with chives later. It's like Yukon Golds or
you
red
can,
potatoes.
Yes, it's
Red
the
potatoes are great.
Yukon Gold ones.
Okay.
And yeah. Oh my gosh. Tell me.
Can I do a
This is-
homemade
It's
shortcut?
called Skinny Crock Pot.
Big
Baked
potato.
potato. Yeah.
Oh, it's a soup.
It's a soup. Sorry.
Oh, you said like a dip or something, or
Yeah.
just like
Oh,
a.
did I? My bad.
Yeah, I felt like it was
Sorry.
like if
No,
you
no,
use a
it's a soup.
shortcut with those powdered
It's a soup.
I
potatoes.
feel like if I eat that, I'm going to be on the pot.
Why would you be on the pot for this? There's
like a lot of
nothing bad in
bacon.
it. No, it's like 8 or 6 slices
why they
of
call it
bacon
pot
that you put on
roast.
top if you want
Okay.
to. How do you say that? Yukon?
Yukon Gold.
Yukon.
Shut up. Yukon Gold potatoes.
22.
Eric, I want some of them Yukon potatoes.
Yellow onion. I'm pushing past.
Push past, girl. Just keep
Sodium
on.
chicken stock reduced. So that's where you kind of do like the low cut.
Okay,
the low
reduced
fat.
sodium
Low fat
chicken
evaporated
broth.
milk, cream cheese.
Milk
It's basically
cheddar
a soup
cheese.
that's
It's
kind
a
of thinner
soup.
than thicker.
Is it
Yeah.
milk?
Okay, when I was a
Milk.
child, I have a very
It's so
real
good.
memory of my dad, because my dad never picked us up from school. My dad picked us up from St. Thomas because it was like a freeze day or something. Like they decided to cut school in half that day, saying, we probably shouldn't have y'all come in today. So my dad picked us up. I remember it was freezing cold, and we went home, and my dad made beef stew. What's going on, Santiago? I'm talking here. Do you want to say
You
something
want some beef
too?
stew?
Since I'm holding him.
Want some Yukon? What is it?
What's that?
Yukon?
Because it's YOKON.
Wouldn't
You
it be
know, why
ironic?
you,
He says the
KON?
word right before you do.
Santi,
Mommy,
can you say Yukon?
Yukon.
Santi, can you say Yukon? Anyway, my dad picked us up and he went home and he made a beef stew, and I have such a vivid memory of him like chopping up the beef and the potatoes and stuff. And I think that's like the only time my dad ever made beef stew, and it was so good. I've never tried to recreate
Try a
that.
pot roast.
A pot roast.
I don't
Now,
think
not
you're gonna
everybody
like
wants
it.
meat now.
The crock pot?
Are you guys? How do you feel about like for me soup? The only time I have soup is when I'm sick. But you can make some delicious soups out there too. I mean, my God, a good bowl of hot tortilla soup.
I made
Loaded
Hey,
baked
like this?
potato soup. I'm telling you.
Lemon soup.
I made Irish stew yesterday.
Ooh.
And
that's with
what's the?
That was just his
lamb.
whiskey. That's
Oh,
Jameson. That's all it was.
Jameson Irish stew.
Jameson,
That's all it was.
concentrated milk, and a Yukon.
he started crying looking at your stories,
You talk
Kevin.
about soup.
He's looking over at you and he's like starting to curl his lip.
He
'cause he's
said,
about to
"Don't
start
you make
crying.
fun of my mom. I'll
top-
poop
I
on
think
you."
it's time for milk.
The top
Yeah.
popular winter soups, clam chowder is number 1.
Clam chowder.
Clam chowder.
Yes, I love
Now
clam
listen,
chowder.
I will buy that.
Chicken noodle number 2.
Or, I will have it at family restaurant, but I will not make it in my house. Even though clams are very easy to work with because
Sam,
they
how do
have
you say this
canned
one?
clams in the brine
All right,
at the
wait.
store.
I said that one.
Hold on. Minestrone.
Nope.
It's spelled minestrone, but it's
Minestrone?
pronounced
No, it's
minestrone.
It's minestrone.
Minestrone.
It's minestrone.
But you got to do this thing with your hands. You go,
Minestrone. Minestrone.
Minestrone.
How do you say it?
What else is another
Minestrone.
big soup?
Minestrone.
Another winter soup that's
You
very
know, some
popular.
tortilla soup is good here in Houston.
You know who has the best in town?
Chicken
If you're
tortilla.
I mean, if you want to get the best, Central Market, and I think HEB carries that same brand. Their tortilla soup is to die for, and I mean they're usually sold out by
I still
like
like that
noon.
Madeline's soup.
Oh, the
the
tomato
tomato basil.
bisque.
Yeah, I just
Tomato
get a big
basil.
old French.
It's so good.
I just dip it in the whole thing. Eat the whole
I was
thing.
like, man, this
Yeah.
is really good. And then I looked at the cup of soup is like 120 grams
Well,
of
of
fat.
course, there's heavy cream in
Yeah.
it. Popular
Make it-
winter soups go like this: chili, then broccoli cheddar soup, which I can't eat that one because I just feel like you're eating cheese.
Smells like
It's
Yeah.
so
Sipping
good.
cheese.
I love that.
Manhattan
Panera has really
clam
good.
chowder is the tomato-based chowder, not the
Ugh.
white one. Corn chowder, delicious. Yes. French onion soup. I made that once in my life from scratch. Takes a while, but it's very good.
All right.
New England lobster bisque.
Ooh, lobster biscuit.
Maybe do that.
bisque.
I thought Costco's got lobster
Number
biscuit.
4, minestrone. Sam said
Minestrone?
Number 3, tomato. Often enjoyed
Tomato
in grilled
is
cheese
boring
sandwiches.
unless you add something to it because
Grilled
it's,
cheese
it's
sandwich.
runny.
Tomato being tomato basil. Number 2, chicken noodle soup. And the number 1 most popular winter soup, as Eric said, clam chowder, the white version.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
What's the other version?
The red one, I said the Manhattan one is number
I don't like the red version.
8 on the list.
I never had that before.
Yeah, the
What
red.
do you got against the red?
I just know the tomato-based clam chowder. I just cannot do it. In all the years I've been to any restaurant where they had both types, I've never once been there where somebody at my table said, "I'll take the red one."
Right.
There's no
It's
potato
always
soup
the
on
white
there?
one.
You guys are missing
Potato
out.
soup.
If I make it tonight, I'll bring it tomorrow, and we can have like a try it Wednesday.
And I bet it'll taste even better tomorrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And actually, clam
good,
chowder
guys.
to me, Eric, is almost like remove the clams and that is potato soup because
it's
you
the
got
same.
diced
It
potatoes
is,
in there.
absolutely.
It's almost like the
That's
Have
same.
y'all
literally
ever
that's
like
it. Just with
experimented?
dry, yeah.
Like the best, thickest soup I've ever had in my life. I was actually in Germany, and it was a small bowl. I'm like, how's this going to fill me up? It was potato with cheese, beer, and butter. All the just, I guess they ran it in a processor or something, and it was like the most delicious thing I've ever eaten.
What's it called?
Huh.
I don't remember. I can't say all those names.
Heil Hitler soup.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
Ryan went on his-
That is horrible.
Germany soup.
He loves Germany.
No, we're not going to put everything German
No,
with Hitler.
He was
These are
even this morning.
However-
he goes, hey guys, you know it's colder here than Berlin. I'm like, man,
Oh, I was looking at my
you love
phone.
Germany, dude.
I was looking at my. Okay, your phone. You go to the weather thing,
Yeah,
and
your
you
favorite
scroll.
cities.
No, you scroll to where all the places you've been. I'm like, oh, in Prague it's 33.
I do not
New
load
York, it's
in
30.
places that I've been into my weather because it has the actual. The first one you click on, it finds where you are and tells you the weather there.
So our location right here,
Well,
KRB, is.
He just wants to know
20.
where his home. You know,
His home
what's
is.
what's feel like at home.
His homeland.
My home is here.
Well, back to the warm
man.
soups. I hope you
Oxtail
enjoy
soup,
something
somebody
warm
said.
today. Ooh, I bet that's really good too.
See, really likes like weird,
I like
oxtail,
oxtail.
and lamb shanks.
I've
is
had oxtail
Because
and
I'm-
it was decent. I just like I said, I don't really like meat. So
What-
I didn't-
what all's
You
an
can braise
oxtail?
it. It's an oxtail. It's an
oxtail.
actual
Legit.
oxtail.
Well, besides the tail.
And like you
Tail.
braise the meat.
Don't you come
and
after
then
me
you
when
can
you
make
just
it
ask
with
what's an
different ways.
oxtail.
I know.
No, I mean like what all do you
Yes.
put in it is what I'm saying. Obviously, it's not the
I
ox's
got
toes
tail in
or
it.
hoof.
I grew up with my Greek dishes, my avolemano soup, and if you've ever been to a Greek restaurant, they have some version of it. It's like a chicken broth based soup that is thickened. And if I tell you how they thicken it, you're probably like, "Ew, that doesn't sound good," but it tastes amazing. It's eggs that you beat up with lemon juice, and you have to temper it exactly right, like the hot chicken stock with the eggs and the lemon, and you whip it. It gets real thick and delicious,
Yeah.
and you have it with rice, and it's just so.
Have you ever seen that
good.
stir like on Instagram that you set it in the pan and it just stirs by itself?
Yeah, I have.
Is that a
Is
scam?
that fake?
Yeah, is
It
that
just
I don't know.
seems to me
Buy
like
it and let me know, Eric.
I'm not falling for
right?
that.
I've given it to you.
right.
I've been burned
I'm waiting
too many
for the
times.
popcorn
I'm
maker
not
too.
gonna, did you hear me talk about it? It sucks.
Yeah. Well, maybe for your fancy microwave, maybe for my low
I'm telling
class
you, Eric.
microwave, it works better.
Yeah, the one that says half wattage. Yes. I'm like, I know what the wattage is. I just hit 2 minutes. It
I make
better
a
work.
popcorn that you don't even have to put butter on it. It's so good. So you line the,
What?
I'm telling you, you get the pan old school with the lid and just put avocado oil all over the bottom of it. Soak it and just shake it back and forth over the stove.
And
Sounds like a lot of
It's
effort.
It
amazing.
does sound like a
I want
lot
a
of
microwave.
It's amazing. I'll bring some in.
there's no
Okay.
butter?
But
Do
if
it.
you
You don't
bring
need
it in,
it.
then it's
You
stale
said-
popcorn.
No, sometimes
Olive oil.
popcorn's better the next day.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah,
If it's all buttered.
Stale popcorn. My grandpa used to have that.
I can't.
It's not stale. I mean,
It
I
just
put it
sits
in a
there for like a day
Ziploc.
or two.
Yeah.
Like he put it in the pan. Just
It's like eating a donut the
like-
next day.
No, it's not the same at all. Donut the next day sucks. But popcorn sometimes, just like pasta, is good the next day. I put that in the same category. He's laughing.
Even Santi's laughing at you. That's your
He's thinking
stale
about
popcorn
mommy
talk.
talking about minestrone.
Minestrone.
Oh, and let me give a shout out too. LA Crawfish's crawfish pho. But the weird thing is, I don't want the sausage. They put sausage and crawfish in the pho. I always ask for no sausage.
Yeah.
And instead of the noodles, I want extra bean sprouts to be my noodles. But the broth of that pho is life. I love it
Sounds
so
good.
much. I love it so much. Gosh, I wonder if they're open today. Maybe I'll get some after the show.
Bean sprouts.
Oh yeah, the bean sprouts in pho.
But no
I don't
noodles?
even want the noodles. I just want all sprouts. Wow. Those are my noodles. They're so good.
Don't you
So
guys like
good.
like starchy foods when it's cold? I mean, like potatoes sound so good.
That's why I'm doing the loaded baked potato soup. Well, maybe. Like I said, I don't have water at my house. So, like, what am I going to do with all the dishes? You know what I mean?
You can come over to my house and come hang out.
Can I make some soup
Paper
at your
plates,
house?
Sam. Did that for years.
But I'm saying, like,
But to make it,
to
prep
Oh.
it.
You
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Put a
It's
paper
not.
on
How long will you be out of
was the
water? Do you
stove.
know?
I think Mark, my husband, is going to turn it on when it's not freezing anymore.
Oh, y'all turned your water off by choice.
Yes, because
So-
our pipes are really old. Our house is from 1910, and our pipes are original pipes.
No.
This was a great idea when I was like 7 months pregnant. I just fell in love with this house.
For those that don't know,
You have 112-year-old
Sam and Mark
pipes?
were living
Yes.
their best life
114-year-old?
off Highway 6
Stupid.
near a future daycare they didn't know they needed. And then one day when Sam was pregnant, she called Mark and said, "Hi, I just put an offer on a house and we won. We're moving to the east side. And this house is like 155 years old and it has no garage."
You turn the water on, you taste like musket balls from the war.
Even Sam's
Probably.
family came
God.
visit. They go, "Wow, your other house was."
Yeah.
I mean, this one's okay.
I don't
Even
know.
your family's like, "Why did you move, girl?"
Yep. Well,
That's funny. Well,
I saw
Megan.
that nursery room and I just fell in love. It's your fault, Santiago.
Wait, the pipes aren't covered underneath. Is that why?
Yeah. So since it's a bungalow, we can't. They plumbed it really wrong. They plumbed our house really, really wrong. So
Really?
Mark is not able to even access it. Like, really, you got me all of those
yeah.
coverings.
Right.
We can't even
No.
use them.
Maybe
Can't
they
even
just
not
did
use the
things different in
insulators?
We can't use them
1910.
because
Why?
Kev was over at our house. They went
I got
outside.
up underneath the
Yeah.
house the other day.
They
Yeah.
did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
she says bungalow. It's a pier and beam. The house sits up off the ground.
Uh-huh.
So the way they piped it back in the day, you can see the exposed pipes, and some of her pipes are tight up against the house. So you can't even put the
around it.
The wrap it, yeah.
the what do you call them?
Insulation.
Insulation
Yeah.
around it. So what we're gonna do, her husband and I, or just him, we're gonna pull it away from the house and replumb it, and then so we can wrap it up real nice. But it is
And then
very
it'll be
hard
okay. Yeah.
to insulate her home, particularly because it's so old and so high off the
So
ground.
if it's from 1910, does it have the original electrical wiring in it?
Oh, I'm sure it does.
No.
Oh, it doesn't?
Okay, I went up in your attic.
Thank you.
Yes. so
Kev knows more about my
I
house.
do.
Unfortunately, you didn't do this before you bought it.
No. But
you,
I went up in
nursery.
her attic, and it looks like that they have rewired her house. They didn't do the garbage disposal right, but everything
So
else
stupid.
seems to be
I
okay.
literally have to go outside to my box and turn it on so that I can run my garbage disposal. But then if I
But
turn
you have
on,
to go outside.
yes,
Do you have
but
a toilet inside the house?
Yes, I
Or
do.
do you have an outhouse?
But if I turn like another light on, that cuts the garbage disposal, so I can't reuse it. So then I have to go back
Girl.
outside.
And didn't you
It
put
is-
insulation in?
Oh yeah, we had to insulate our whole house.
I
We had
have
to get new
anxiety
siding,
hearing
new
this.
windows.
I have anxiety.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
just thinking
Did you have
about all these
an
things.
inspector or have
we
somebody
did.
like
we
look
did.
at all this?
Yep, we did. And I just found
And he
a hole
told
in
you?
my floor as well. I can see the floor.
You can see the
So,
ground.
Yeah, I put tape over it.
There you go. Duct tape will fix anything.
Act like it's not there.
You also had to put on a new roof.
No, not yet.
No, you didn't.
No,
have
we
to
just
do
had
new-
to patch it
Just-
because there was
you
a
just
hole.
did a patch.
Let's just build a whole new house.
Yeah,
I don't know.
know.
I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
all new windows,
all new windows,
siding.
new siding.
But when it goes up for sale, she really
Oh,
wants
it's
to talk
great.
it up how great it is.
Wouldn't it have been cheaper just to mow it down and build a new house?
no.
And would it have been worth it in that neighborhood the way it doesn't match with everybody else? Are there any
Well, it
new
doesn't
houses
matter.
there?
I mean,
Oh, no,
they
there's-
gentrify
Are there new
everything in
houses?
this
Oh
city.
yeah, they're gentrifying that neighborhood. That's why.
That's why we about to move over there.
I mean, Kev's on his way over too. so-
Are you really, Kev?
Oh yeah.
Most
You're
likely.
leaving Sharpstown?
I know, and it's twice or thrice the distance too. That's really the only thing keeping me from buying in Sam's neighborhood.
You
It
are-
is so far
I
away.
will take you to work. You are such a baby.
I do. You come pick
Can
me
you come
up.
pick me
He's
up?
just getting here in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It takes me longer. It takes
That's
me
why
like
his alarm is set for
25.
5:53.
5:50. He has to.
From Hollywood to H-Town
Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
on KRVE.
All right, the Emmys happened last night. It was the 75th Emmy Awards ceremony hosted by Anthony Anderson, and they did a fantastic job, if you didn't see it last night, of taking you through all the different shows from all the different decades. They had a digital screen that could recreate the set. And I really like the way they opened it because Anthony Anderson talked about when he was a child watching TV in his living room. You know, he would dream about the things that he was going to do. And like Good Times was the scene. And Good Times on the wall behind him were all the things from the show Good
So it
Times.
was a set
where
recreated.
it was a digital screen. Because then it changed to a picture of Anthony Anderson as a child. And who was he in love with? Oh, God, I
Janet
can't remember.
Jackson? Was she Penny on
No,
Different Strokes?
no. It wasn't
Velma?
from Good Times. It was the next. Oh, it was Mrs. Garrett from Facts of Life.
He was in love with Mrs. Garrett.
Yes. He went from Good Times
I mean, my God.
to being in love with Tootie. He was in love with Tootie from Facts of Life.
That I can see.
And then he said, well, really, I was in love with Miss Garrett. And there was like a funny picture of him and Miss Garrett. He was a child. And then, and they even did like a recreation of Arsenio Hall's set when he comes out, when they used to announce him. And he would look down, then he'd look up and he'd walk out for his monologue. And Arsenio Hall said when he was growing up, he loved Johnny Carson and he wanted to be an old white man with a talk show. So funny.
Okay.
I mean, they just did such a good job of taking you through all the different decades and all the different shows and the people showed up for
TV's
to
been
represent
around that
those
long?
TV shows.
75 years.
Yeah, 75th annual Emmys. Elton John achieved EGOT status last night. That means he has won an Emmy. He has won a Grammy. He has many Grammys, 2 Oscars, and a Tony. So he officially has the EGOT as they made a documentary out of his last.
But has he won a Marconi?
I don't think.
We have 2 Marconis, Elton.
He did. Elton won for Outstanding Variety Special Live, Farewell from Dodger Stadium on Disney+. He was not there to receive it, although they were very excited to receive for him because that made him an EGOT winner.
Here it is. It says the first national live television broadcast took place September 4th, 1951. And it was President Harry Truman's speech at the Japanese peace treaty.
What did they do that was so great? It was just a concert. You just put the cameras there and watch him perform. Did you see it on Disney? Did you watch it?
It was the first Disney Plus live stream event, I think it
live
was.
stream.
Because that's
okay.
what the person who accepted was one of the producers or directors.
Doesn't seem that hard.
On the team. And also,
think about it. They've got the whole show worked out already. It's got some different cameras, different angles.
Let me ask a question about White Lotus, because a
love that show.
couple of categories was only Succession and White Lotus
Don't
actors.
spoil it for us.
I will not spoil it, but ask away because
Jennifer Coolidge won last night again for best. Let me see, what was her actual category? Her category was actress in a comedy, and she said she wanted to thank the evil gays, and then she did like a thank you, evil gays. Is there something about evil gays in White Lotus?
There is. It just so happens that she's hanging out with a group of people, and they're in on a plot against her without divulging too much.
Okay.
She's in season 1 and she's in season 2. She's the only character from season 1 to make it to season 2. White Lotus hotels are all over the world, so she's in one White Lotus in one season and in a different one, like an Italian White Lotus, the second season. Like the first season was tropical, second season was in Italy, and I'm not sure where the third season is. They just announced that Jason Isaacs is going to be like one of the big stars of season 3.
I don't know Jason Isaacs.
He oh God, he was in Star Trek Discovery. He was Malfoy he was Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter, the man with the long white hair.
And I misspoke. It's not comedy series for White Lotus. Hello. It's
he was in I Am Sam. He was on CBS. He was like a doctor.
Oh, he was?
Was he the bad guy in The Patriot against Mel Gibson?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, do you think I'd seen that movie?
You never saw that one?
I interviewed Heath Ledger for The Patriot, and I got yelled at by Heath Ledger.
What?
I got yelled at by Heath Ledger when I interviewed him for The Patriot. Well, he was just annoyed with us because he and Heather Graham were dating at the time. And I was doing mornings in Philly, and my co-host said something about Heather Graham because Heather Graham was the bigger star at the time. Heath Ledger,
Had he done 10 Things I Hate About You yet?
That's probably about it.
I think that's all you knew him for.
Okay.
And then he's in The Patriot, Mel Gibson. Anyway, so I can't remember how we brought up Heather Graham, but the fact that her name was spoken, he was like, "What am I here to talk about the movie or not?"
This
and then
is
he got
my
so
time.
mad, he basically hung up. He hung up.
Oh, he
on
got.
us.
Did you hit him right out of the box with Heather Graham, or did you
No, I
ease
think
into
we were
that?
on for a couple of seconds, but for a couple of minutes. But here's the thing: when you are the Heath Ledger that no one knows yet, other than 10 Things I Hate About You, he made the transition from a
I say just embrace that stuff.
rom-com into he wanted to cross over into more serious stuff. But he happened to be dating one of the hottest actresses at the time, who a lot more people knew her than him. And of course, it's like whatever the hot couple is. It's like if we had Taylor and Travis, one or the other on, and not say anything about the other one because it's so in the news. How can you ignore it?
But you have to understand that he's under a lot of pressure too. He has to do, as part of his agreement to star in a movie, you have to do press.
Right.
So many TV shows.
Stayed on the phone with us.
And he's under commitment to talk about this
Speaking
movie.
of Taylor, how come no one's mad about Eminem? They kept showing photos of him, or videos.
I saw something on Instagram today about that.
It was like
that
they get mad about Taylor Swift.
Nobody's saying anything about Eminem getting shown so much at the Detroit Lions game.
I think it's because we don't see him every single game.
Right.
When you watch a Chiefs game, you know you're going to see Taylor Swift.
Who the hell wants to watch the Detroit Lions games?
Well, if
people in
Eminem's
Detroit.
there.
Yeah, that's it. But now that they're doing well, they kept showing him. I'm like, well, where's the outrage for him?
Because he's not shown every single game. That's why.
I never got that. I'm like, show Taylor. Who cares? If it makes people want to become fans. Like
and
little girls that they watch and they see her, and then they're interested in the game.
Everybody's going on about her custom-made jacket.
Yeah.
The Swifties are not excited at all about any potential losses for the Chiefs because that will end their run of seeing Taylor at games. So all Swifties want Chiefs to win. I told my own daughter
Ava does.
last
She's
night,
like, I want to play the Texans.
I wasn't sure because there was a scenario where if I think the Steelers had won, we would be playing the Chiefs next. But since they lost, we're playing the Ravens. And I said to them, listen, I don't know what's happened yet, but there is a chance we're going to play the Chiefs and you guys we're going to have to end this run with Taylor and Travis because go Texans all the way. And then my one daughter goes, I still want the Chiefs to win no matter what, Mommy, because Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce.
No.
And I was like, no, change what you know and just think CJ Stroud. Well, whatever happens with Baltimore, I'm very excited for it. This has been really a nice way to watch
the Texans somehow make it to the championship or Super Bowl. Your son MJ looks like he might become a Texan fan.
Oh yeah,
your husband can try and make it be Cowboys, but after that game, I'm
mad about the Cowboys losing.
Dad, are you nuts?
I was shocked. I mean, I really was shocked. They had not lost a home game at Cowboy Stadium all season.
16 games in a row.
And the last game, their kicker was a soccer player. By the way, they drafted him from MLS. Do you know this, Sam? The field goal kicker for the Cowboys was a soccer player, and he was like a genius move.
It's almost like the Happy Gilmore concept.
I mean,
you know
makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Also, I kept telling my little brother Connor, because he played soccer, I'm like, bro, you need to go to football because
and be the kicker.
And you're going to make stupid money. Like, you could probably go professional and not have to really play or do anything.
Yeah.
You just go out for kicks. That's it.
So from my house, the high on the Texans' amazing, beat down. Because, I mean, we were just hoping we were going to win. It was so awesome to get, to totally freaking
two in a row, 2 pick sixes.
And then the next day, we were watching the Cowboys game, and we're like, womp, womp. All right, go Texans!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Roula and Ryan Show on KRBE with what's going down in H-Town.
It's brought to you by Duncan. So, yes, we are under a hard freeze warning and a wind chill advisory, but it does not stop there. Now, a hard freeze warning means temperatures of 10 to 20 degrees. The wind chill is going to make it feel like it's 5 to 10 degrees. But, yes, another hard freeze likely again tomorrow morning with temperatures again dipping down into the teens and low 20s. Wind won't be as bad tomorrow.
It's a good bourbon drinking day. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's every day.
Isn't it every day in your house?
I was just going to think that.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
No, maybe today he'll make
a hot toddy.
That's like you saying it's a good breathing day.
He's going to make a hot toddy today.
Can I come over for a hot toddy?
Oh, yes.
I don't know what that is. What is it?
Oh, my God.
What is in a hot toddy?
So good.
I don't like hot drinks.
There's a lot of different ways you can make
You
that.
could do
Does it have
Irish
alcohol?
whiskey. You could do bourbon. You could do...
It's my go-to when I'm sick.
Yeah, you could do... it's
You can
lemon.
drink alcohol when you're sick, though.
Well, I'm doing great
No,
right
good
now,
for you.
Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not sick.
Delicious.
I'm not sick. I'm joking. But
delicious.
I'm fine.
Maybe
delicious.
delicious, but it's not
All
health
right, Dr.
beneficial.
Vape over there.
whatever.
Dr.
Yeah.
Vape.
Just
Mr.
because I
Vape.
say one thing that you disagree with,
Put your
you got to
vape
bring
thing
up
down.
the vape.
Because that's way worse than my bourbon.
Because you're
that's
like,
bad.
drinking alcohol while you're sick is so terrible.
Bourbon's been around for hundreds of years. This vape juice is only 10 years.
I can't even breathe doing
No.
it fake.
Like that
I
would hurt
can't
my
even
throat.
fake vape and not lose my breath.
How do you like? Does it just feel good? Do you even put?
It's like more of an oral fixation. I think I just like because there's no nicotine.
Well, suck
so-
on your thumb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you want
bring-
Santiago's pacifier?
Yeah,
Have
get a
extra.
pacifier.
Yeah, give me a pass.
A hot
All right.
toddy, by the way, is also known as the
Couldn't look any
Southern
more
cough
dumb.
syrup within the United States. Southern cough syrup is a hot toddy. Come on, Eric. I can't believe you never had one.
They're
Yeah.
scissor
That's
breeze.
just
Try
bourbon.
it Tuesday. It's Tuesday. When you go
Right.
home, you're trying that. Hot water.
I don't like hot stuff.
Oh, my God. It's so good.
It's really good.
Go outside
Really,
and
really
drink it.
good.
You'll enjoy that it's hot.
Oh,
Sit on your balcony on that 17th floor.
Did you ever like
Free.
a fireball when you were younger?
What is a fireball
You know that-
besides the
that's-
actual liquor?
That's what I'm talking about. You know, like the cinnamon, the hot, the heat.
yeah. You know you drink too much when your wife has that cinnamon smell in the bathroom from the fragrance, and I'm like, man, that smells like Fireball. Like,
Oh my God.
That's called cinnamon.
If anybody has
So in
Fireball at
other
their
words,
house
you
today,
relate everything to like, hey, lemon pledge. That's a Tom Collins.
Yeah, that's a lemon vodka shot.
If you're at home today
lemon.
and you have Fireball in your bar cabinet, put it with some apple cider or apple juice, heat it up.
Yes.
It makes a delicious cold weather warm drink.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Delish.
So I got something for the afternoon. Then.
If you missed Revenge today, it's a sister versus a brother because of his bad behavior. Find out what he did next on the Roula and Ryan Show.